Okay, let's kick things off by challenging a pretty massive assumption. We've all been there, right? You walk through this giant warehouse doors, the smell of fresh bakery items hits you, and you grab one of those oversized, incredibly deep shopping carts. Immediately, your brain tells you that you just have to fill it. We kind of assume that loading up on bulk items is automatically the smartest financial choice. It feels like you're hacking the system. But is it really? Today, in this explainer, we're going to look closely at why buying in bulk might actually be draining your wallet. We're basically going to bust the myth that bigger is always cheaper. Sure, seeing a giant box of cereal or a massive tub of snacks totally feels like a win, but we're going to expose the hidden costs here. We'll be looking at three big things: food waste, the heavy burden of physical storage, and the sneaky pricing psychology that actively tricks you into overspending. Section 1. The waste factor. Let's start with the absolute most obvious budget killer, and that's waste. This is especially true for perishable goods or things you just rarely use. Think about that giant tub of fresh spinach. You buy it because the price per ounce looks amazing, but what actually happens? Half of it turns into a slimy mess in the back of your crisper drawer. Did you really save any money? Well, this number is staggering. According to a USDA report, American households waste nearly 31% of the food they buy. 31%. So when you buy perishable foods in bulk and end up tossing them out when they expire, you immediately erase any of those potential bulk savings. You are literally just paying to throw things in the trash. And the data backs this up perfectly. LendingTree surveyed shoppers and found something crazy. A massive 38% of bulk shoppers openly admit they occasionally or often throw their bulk purchases straight into the trash. Only 24% say they never waste these items. Just think about that math for a second. If you throw out half of your massive bulk purchase, that great deal wasn't really a great deal after all, was it? It was actually twice as expensive. Researchers looking at our household habits have found that physical space actually dictates waste. Behavior plays a huge role here. Buying in bulk means you need a lot of room. Overfilling our fridges and freezers causes items to get shoved all the way to the back. And, out of sight means out of mind. You completely forget what you've stored, the food expires, and your wallet takes the hit. It's a total vicious cycle of overpurchasing and underconsuming. Section 2. The Overspending Trap. So how do warehouse clubs get us to buy all this stuff in the first place? Well, they use incredibly effective pricing psychology to encourage you to buy far more than you actually need. Researchers at Wharton call one of their best tricks transaction utility. It's basically the thrill of the deal. Your brain literally gets a rush from seeing a markdown giant size. Think about buying a whole gallon of mustard just because it's heavily discounted. This tricks you into spending more total dollars just to feel like a savvy shopper, and it is completely separate from whether you actually need the product. This research reveals a fascinating flaw in human logic. We will actively lose money just to feel the thrill of a deal. We fall for buy one, get one traps, and we grab items we wouldn't normally purchase at full price. Why? Just because it feels like a win. We prioritize the feeling of winning over keeping actual cash in the bank. In other words, we sacrifice our actual monetary payoff just for that transaction utility. So you absolutely need a defense mechanism. Wandering the aisles of a big box store without a game plan leads straight to expensive impulse buys. But there is a very simple fix. According to research, just sticking to a simple shopping list can save you up to 23% on your grocery bill. A list keeps you completely focused. It cuts down on those psychological traps we just talked about. You buy what you came for, and you get out. Section 3. When bulk actually works. Now, let's be fair. We aren't saying warehouse clubs are entirely bad. There are specific situations where buying in bulk genuinely saves you money. This is especially true for large families who cycle through products super quickly. LendingTree analyzed prices and proved that for non-perishables, the savings are very real. Let's walk through the math. Buying Bounty paper towels in bulk drops the price from 8 cents a sheet to 3 cents. That might sound like pennies, but over a year, that is a massive 65% savings. Duracell AA batteries drop from $1.25 each to just 50 cents. That's huge. The math works out perfectly when you stick to household staples with a long shelf life. We're talking things like diapers, toilet paper, trash bags, dish soap, items that will literally never go bad. The math completely falls apart when you buy 5-pound tubs of perishable mayonnaise or a mountain of fresh produce that your family simply cannot finish in time. Basically, stick to the staples. If you're finding this valuable, please subscribe to Wealth Lab and share this explainer with your friends and family. It really helps us grow. Section 4. Smarter bulk buying. So, how can we take everything we've learned and actually apply it to our daily lives? We need practical rules to decide when bulk buying actually makes financial sense. To stop draining your wallet, you really must follow these guidelines. First, ignore those big flashy discount tags because they're just designed to trigger your transaction utility. Second, buy only what you will realistically use. Third, split your purchases. If a 50-pack of batteries is an amazing deal, split the cost and the batteries with your neighbor or your friends. Finally, and this is critical, assess your physical storage space. Please don't treat your home like an apocalypse bunker if you live in a small apartment. And lastly, remember that the total sticker price is kind of an illusion. Never just look at the overall cost because a lower total price doesn't necessarily mean a better deal. Dividing the price by the ounce, the gram, or the sheet is literally the only foolproof way to know if that giant box is actually a bargain. Make the price per unit your ultimate financial guide. So the next time you walk into a warehouse club and grab that giant, oversized cart, ask yourself a simple question. Are you actually feeding your family, or are you just feeding your trash can? Thank you for joining us today. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to Wealth Lab. We'll see you in the next one.